Hello, everybody. Welcome and thank you for tuning in to my new YouTube channel, the Utah Ranger. This channel is going to be set across doing some pretty cool stuff. It's going to center mostly upon figure reviews, comic book news, things like that, movie reviews, all sorts of cool stuff. But I'd like to introduce myself. I am the Utah Ranger, and today is the inaugural episode. So what we are going to do to make this momentous occasion stick in the minds of everybody who's going to watch this, we're going to review a very special figure. And that figure is none other than the Power Morphicon exclusive. The one that was all the way around all the controversy, everything that was going on at the moment in that time period. It is the Lord Drakkon Power Morphicon exclusive, along with his throne. So the coolest thing about this figure is the fact that it is just exactly what it is. Awesome. So, as you can tell, he's out of the package. This is the very first time he's been out of the package. I have never opened this before. I just freshly cut the tape today. And it should prove to be very excellent, because just from the looks of him, as you can tell here, he looks fantastic. I do believe that Bandai did learn from the mistake that they made with the Zeo figures of the same legacy line, that people don't want the Craft Cheese Ranger. They want gold paint, which is what they showed initially at the toy fairs, but unfortunately isn't what they gave us. So, I gave him the VIP treatment here. He is fantastic looking. I went through everything here, and you can tell they really did a pretty good job on these. Here's the sheath for his sweet dagger. And that is what he uses to originally call the Drakkon Zord. But because he's evil now, he's got a totally different Zord. A couple of different Zords as well. I would recommend, if you are a fan of Power Rangers, to look into the Boom Studios comics, because they did a fantastic job with the storyline and the artwork. But even the detail on these little figures is fantastic. Alright, now let's move on to Saba. So in the comic books, it's a little bit different. I don't want to spoil anything for anyone, so I'm not going to go too deep into detail on what happens in the comic books, because I do want fans to go and support the content and actually enjoy the storyline themselves. So I don't want to spoil anything for anybody. But it does look like they did a fantastic job with the paint applications. The molds look like they were done really well. Nothing is really out of place. And as for the figure himself, just like all the rest of the Legacy figures, they're very, very posable. Some of the joints have a little bit of bending to it from the plastic being molded inside of the casing for so long, but a little bit of warm water and holding it in place does fix that. An old figure collector secret there. But he looks great. He's got a serial number tattoo. A little bit of some odd paint mistakes on the actual figure himself, but nothing severe. Everything looks pretty good. The detail on the morpher looks good. They got the belt colors correct, which is good, because they kind of had an issue with that beforehand with some of the other figures. We're going to kind of set him off to the side. I know he's the star of the show, but I am going to focus now on the actual throne. The throne was a special order kind of situation where they added it as secondary after the Lord Drakkon figure was originally announced. But I was thoroughly impressed with how much detail they went into this. It looks just like his throne from the comic books. It's fantastic. It's really, really highly detailed, and it's got some heft to it. I mean, it's probably at least a couple of pounds just by itself. But it looks good and it feels good. The detail on it is fantastic. Again, I can't stress enough how much the detail on that throne really does mean. And I would love to see somebody eventually do a full intact Lord Zedd throne. That would be really, really cool to see. So, for the time being, what we're going to do is we are going to fit our man here, Evil Tommy Oliver, with the items that he comes with. He comes with his sheath here for the dragon dagger. We're going to slide that in there. Looks good, looks natural. And then if I remember correctly, Tommy's a righty. So we are going to fit Saba into his fresh plastic hand, like so. And let's do a really cool little pose here. He is pretty poseable. And he does get pretty angry. He's not a happy ranger. He's a pretty angry dude. The cool thing about him is, oh, and he's apparently drunk too, which is fine because in his world he runs the place, so he can drink on the job whenever he wants. Because he doesn't have anybody to tell him what he has to do and what he doesn't have to do. So he looks pretty good. If my camera will focus on him. Let's give it a second. Yeah, there we go. I guess. So, let's actually do a little bit of interesting stuff here. Let's focus in on him there. So, let's see if we can put a little bit of extra color in here. So he does have some really, really good detail on him. I'm actually really looking forward to see what Hasbro does with the line now that they have pretty much exclusive licensing to it. It should be very interesting, but we're going to put a little bit of green hue light there. And let's see if we can set him in his throne. Let's move that forward a little. Oh, he's very evil. But he's also fantastic looking. He's a really cool figure. Interesting character for them to have come up with in this specific type of universe. But let's do a little bit of messing around with some color light. So he looks pretty cool in green. He looks really green with evil. What about red? Oh, red really brings out quite a bit of detail and shine in that gold. It does look good. The blue changes it up quite a bit. Kind of like a purplish, maybe. Looks pretty sweet regardless. We'll go with red, I feel like, for this. Guess we could even do white and just go back to the normal coloring, but I really do like this figure a lot. I hope you guys like it a lot too. I try not to focus too much on the controversy that surrounded the figure. I know there was a pretty big deal went down when that whole situation was fresh, but I am very pleased with this figure. The packaging's fantastic. Came with a full art slide that goes over it, just like all of Bandai's other special edition con exclusive figures. The black and gold Megazord, both the exclusive Red Rangers, so on and so forth. But now that the Legacy line's basically over, I'm pretty sure that the last few figures that even came out were Dino Thunder Yellow, and they gave up on, unfortunately, on the Psycho Rangers, but that is a situation that will have to be addressed at some other point. But again, I am the Utah Ranger. Thank you so much for tuning in. I really can't thank you enough. If you did like this content, or you have any constructive criticisms or anything like that, or you want to see a specific figure, I'll be doing a bunch of different lines, not just Power Rangers. It will be very, very cool. If you want to give a like and a subscribe, please feel free to do so. I would very much appreciate that. And tune in next time for the next review. I'll try to keep these very, very fresh. And we will see you guys in the next episode. Thank you so much again, and have a beautiful day. May the power protect you.